we are recording the Houses quiz for teacher training for TKP. So you want to start by importing NFN086. This quiz should be taught after you've taught the Houses basic recipe and done the Houses recap. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes. So like all quizzes, this should be taught in a facilitated manner. So what you're going to want to do is have the kids click inside of it. They should have taken the square quiz, so they should be familiar with the format, but you're going to want to remind them, like all quizzes, they're going to want to run it when they start. And again, teach by asking questions. So you want to ask, how do you run this? The kids will hopefully answer, run it. And then they will see that you got a failing score. So all of our quizzes are designed to be administered in pairs. And the kids should be working one typing and one talking, and the facilitators should be encouraging the kids to read the English, look at the documentation, and not giving them the answers. So if I were a facilitator, I would say to my pair, to get question 1 right, you're going to have to translate the green on line 6. So read the green on line 6.
The current length is 7.
Okay, and when you see the word current, what does that make you think of?
A variable.
Great. So we're going to put in the word length, and we're going to set it equal to 7, and then we're going to want to try it out. So once we do that, we see that we have a pass on that first one. Now the kids don't have to delete the English here. They can if they want to. It's a good habit. Now the second question trips up a lot of kids because it's a multi-line answer. You might remember in Houses we have just taught the concept of subs, so we're trying to reinforce that concept along with the concept of variables in this quiz. So read all 3 lines of lines 9, 10, and 11.
Question 2. Create a subroutine called medium that sets the current length to 21.
Now again, you might want to prompt the kids to translate line 10, and what you're hoping that they're going to do is create a sub here called medium, and of course they actually have to put in quite a couple of lines because they need to put the beginning and the end of the subroutine, and then they should be able to get the middle one because this is going to be, length equals 21, and then they're going to go ahead and run it. Quite a few kids are going to stumble with this. Let them stumble because this is a core concept. They really need to understand what's happening here. So we can go ahead and we can get rid of the English. Again, it's not as important when they're doing the quizzes to get rid of the English because sometimes they really do struggle with this, and you want to emphasize until it's completely translated, do not remove the English. So now once they get question 2, then they go along pretty well. Go ahead and read lines 13, 14, and 15.
Question 3. Create a subroutine called large that sets the current length to 63.
Okay, and so of course what keyword are we going to use to start here?
Sub.
Sure, and once we have sub, then we give the name, and we have to have what ending word?
End sub.
Yeah. Now a common mistake kids will make is they won't use their editor, and then they will type 2 words. So again, you want to point out if they're having an error that they want to click on the word sub and look at the documentation and see what's different, okay? And then that sets the current length to 63, so they should be going pretty fast here. Now again, if you've done a thorough job as a teacher and engaged your kids, you should really be, the kids should be able to complete this quiz in about 10 minutes, just to give you an idea. Of course, one of the fun things with our quizzes is that we have the reward shape. The kids will delight in what the turtle might be making. So the next one here, go ahead and read that out.
Question 4. Create a subroutine called move the length that moves the tortoise the current length.
Cool. And so we're translating that out, and then you might remind people to copy and paste. What's the easiest way to do things, and then tortoise.move. This is directly coming out of the recipe. If they get stuck, they don't know how to translate current length here, refer to the recipe. One of the teaching tips is that you want to have the recipe open when the kids do the quiz. Now we're making this bizarre shape, and usually they're having quite a bit of fun trying to figure out what the heck's going on at this point. So we're going to just get rid of some of these lines here, and now we're going to go into the next one. Go ahead and read that for me, will you?
Question 5. Create a subroutine called turn the corner that turns the tortoise 1/3 of 360 degrees to the left.
Again, we're reinforcing quite a few concepts here. If you've taught sequentially, you've taught the square and the variation, and the kids have seen this idea of the computer doing math. in this implementation of 360 divided by 3. There's different ways to get the right answer there, but that's the way we're kind of intending this to be run. Okay, and now we have just some bizarre stuff going on. One thing that you may or may not have realized is when we write the quiz objects, which are part of the extensions, the values that the kids are writing here are actually passed into the reward shape. And I'll talk about this as we complete the quiz. Go ahead and read number 6, please.
Question 6. Create a subroutine called Draw Aside that calls move the length and turn the corner.
Cool. So again, kids tend to overthink this. So sometimes they'll get stuck on this one, but the kids that are really paying attention, of course, when they get to this point, they will quickly realize that we're just calling the two subs that we created. Now they can either copy and paste them, or because they're now available in the editor, they can type them. Common things that they do wrong here is they put spaces between the words, or they forget the parentheses. So again, if they get those errors, what you want to do is have them click on the particular object and have them take a look at the object. You can also bring up the subroutine slide and just leave it up when the quiz is on, because that sometimes will help kids out. And once they get it, of course, you're going to have a really fun shape. Really kind of a cool, fun shape, but we're not quite done yet. So, oops. I'm not done because I didn't read this thing correctly. So this is a common mistake that kids will make, and if they do this, what you want to do is get them into an undo mode, because what has happened here is we've deleted English and we haven't verified that things work properly. So you'll see I'm undoing, 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 and notice here that I need to go to the left, and I didn't read my English properly. So this is exactly what you're going to want to have the kids do if this happens. Just click undo till they get to a point where they actually pass, and you can see that now we're getting up to a passing point. So I actually did this on purpose so that you could see as an instructor what you do if you get into a point where the kids delete the English because they think they've translated correctly, but then the quiz doesn't seem to work. So now, of course, we've done this one before, so we're just going to type it up really fast and say draw aside and end sub, and then we're going to say move the length and just bring that up from the editor and turn the corner. And then we're going to go ahead and run that, and we're going to get our cool reward shape, and there it is. Let me move it in so you guys can see it. Now, what sometimes the kids will do after they pass the quiz is they'll keep on going and they'll deliberately fail it. So I was kind of jumping ahead there. If you take this off, then you'll see that you'll get that really bizarre shape, and it will fail because the value of the variables is being passed in. And that's totally fine. It's totally fun as long as the kids pass the quiz. Now, the next step in this is to do the houses homework if they have time. But this is a really important part of this particular lesson. This is the houses quiz.